identity hash map. It is exactly the same as HashMap, I can say, except like in HashMap, JVM will use the equals method to identify the duplicate keys actually. So it will be using it is using the equals method, equals method to identify uh, the duplicate keys. Okay, duplicate keys. Okay, so equals method is meant for the content comparison. Content comparison. So which mean to say that, for example, let's say we have, let's say I have a map. Okay, let's say I have a hash map which will be storing some values. Hash map dot put of string. Let's say I'll be giving the string name as, let's say, Sajjad, and giving the value as a developer. Okay, so let's say I have created a same have created the same key and the value is different. So now what in this case, what HashMap is what HashMap is doing is, so internally this HashMap making a call to the equals method. Okay, not internally, not HashMap. Internally, JVM will check line by line code, right? The JVM is going to read these lines one by one. Okay, what it will do is it will check each and every line. So for this hash, for in this first line, so the key is Sajjad. For this Sajjad, like there will be um, for this Sajjad. So it will store this. It will store this Sajjad into the hash map. Okay, it will come to the next line. If it sees the same, if it sees the same key value, okay, Sajjad over here. So it will, you know, do the content comparison. It will call the equals method. Okay, JVM will call the equals method and it will check whether the object one dot equals, this is one object and this is one object. So the object one dot equals to the object two. So what it will do is, if the contents are same, Sajjad is equal to Sajjad, right? So both our contents are same. Okay, so then what it will do is it will return true. It will return true. Okay, if it is returning true, it will not add the, you know, this entry, the duplicate entry to the hash mapper. So this is what happening actually. Okay, so now in case of, if you don't want to, like, use the content comparison, so if we want to use the, if you want to allow the duplicate elements as well. Okay, so there is a one more map actually, so which is identity map. So this identity map, what it will do is, it will check the reference of these two. Check the reference of these two objects. See, the subject, this particular object one is, okay, this object details will be stored in some X location, and this object details are storing into the Y location. Of course, the references are different. At that time, it will return false. So the identity hash map will be taking the duplicates. Okay. So in identity hash map, JVM will use the double equal operator. Okay. So let's say this is object one, obj1, and this is obj2. So what it will do is it will use equals method, obj1 double equals to obj2. So here the object references are different, right? Obj1 will be having these values. Okay, no problem. The same content it is having. Okay, but the reference where it is storing in X location, it is storing. Assume that it is storing in X location. Okay, so obj2, this is storing in a Y location. Okay, the locations are different, but the content which they are storing are same. So in this case, it will return false because the references are different, right? So identity hash map always check the reference of the objects instead of checking the content of the objects. Okay. Okay, fine. So mostly we will be using this, identity hash map in caching the applications. We will be using when we are using a caching, at that time only we will be using this identity hash map. Let's say, imagine you are developing a caching mechanism for your application that process the documents actually. Okay, each document has a unique ID, right? Okay, but sometimes documents can logically equivalent, right? So that is like the same content, but the different ID should be there. Okay, 1 minute. Getting a call. Okay, so mostly we will be using this, in a caching mechanism, like where you want to cache the documents based on their memory references. Then you will be using this identity hash map. Okay. Okay. So there is a difference between the hash map and identity hash map. Hash map is meant for the content comparison. If the two objects are equal, so what it will do is JVM will check this content of the objects by calling the equals method. When it comes to the identity hash map, what it is doing is, so it will be using the double equal operator, and it will check the references of it. Okay, where this particular object is going to store. Let's say in some X location, where the second object is going to store. Let's say in Y location. The locations are different, of course. So I'll be returning false. Okay. So mostly we'll be using this identity hash map in a caching mechanisms only. Okay. Let's see an example on this identity hash map. Okay. Right. Okay. So let me take a custom example on this identity hash map. So let me create a class called document. Okay. Instead of taking a document, I can take directly Aadhaar card. It's also one of the document actually. So the Aadhaar card will be having the Aadhaar number. I'll take the Aadhaar number as a long Aadhaar number. And in the Aadhaar card, we have our address as well, right? So address, and we have address. I can say that street name. I take it as a one by one. Street name, string, street name, and locality. Okay, string, city name, postal code, right? I can say that pin code. Pin code would be a wise actually. We can take it pin code only. So everyone aware of pin code. Okay, and so every Aadhaar will be having everyone will be having a Aadhaar with, like, from different state. It is a unique for India, right? So everyone will be having a Aadhaar. I'll be taking the state as a one more property. So let's create the setters and getters for this. Okay, I'll do one thing. Instead of creating the setters, I'll create a constructor. Okay, and I'll generate only getters for these attributes, so that whenever required, I'll call the get methods. Okay, so I'll take the constructors. I'll create a constructor for all these things. Right click, generate constructor, choose all fields. Okay, so it is creating a constructor for us. Okay, so I'll be adding a default constructor as well, public Aadhaar card. Okay, fine, no problem. So I've added. So now I'll be generating the setters and getters as well. So let's not generating the setters, only generating the getters. So generate getters. So I'll be choosing getters. So you can see the getters. Okay. So document class is having the properties like Aadhaar number, street name, locality, city name, pin code, state. So these are the properties we have. For all these properties, we have generated the constructor. Okay, and we have a get method as well, getter as well. Okay, now let's go and create a client app where we will be storing all these details of a user. Okay, so let's go create, not here, 2D collections client app. I'll say this as identity the HashMap client app and main. So in a main, what I'll do is I'll be using a identity hash map. It will be taking the first. I'll do one thing. I'll be taking the hash map, then I'll show with respect to the okay. I'll go with the identity map only. Okay, just I'll check it. Identity map. So which will be taking the string, and let's instead of using a string, I'll give the Aadhaar number as a long, right? So when I enter the Aadhaar number, it should get the Aadhaar details, Aadhaar card, and I'll say UIDIs, new identity hash map. Okay, so now what we have to do? We have to create an object of a Aadhaar card, and we have to we have to set the properties for that, right? So let me create an object of Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card goes to new Aadhaar card. So instead of using this constructor, I'll be using the default, not default constructor, I'll be using the params constructor. So I'll do one thing. I'll remove this one. I'll add later. Okay, by default it is coming. So now Aadhaar card will be having show Aadhaar number, street. So let me give the Aadhaar number and street, and it is having the locality as a string. That's fine. City name string, pin code string, state is also string. So now what I'll do is I'll give the Aadhaar number. I'll say 7696 some number. Okay, give L. Street name, I'll say Palm Meadows. Locality, Nallu Ali. And city name, Bangalore. And pin code 560066. Maximize this. We can see this. So state is KA Karnataka. Okay. Similarly, you can add one more entry. Okay. So Aadhaar card 1 this is, and this is Aadhaar card 2. Okay. So here I'll be just changing the ID names. Let's say 88 Meadows. Instead of Palm Meadows, I'll add street name as Ramagundanahalli. And this would be comes under locality as Vatturpodi. And city name is Bangalore and same pin code. Okay. So we have multiple objects, and let's add the same details once again. Let me add it over here. Okay. So let's add the details. UIDIs that put. Okay, long. I'll be taking this as a key. The other number is a key, and I'll be adding the other one. Similarly, can add one more key. I'll be giving this as a 3. Okay. Okay. I'll copy this. UIDIs dot put. Okay. I'll add this, and I'll say Aadhaar. Got it? Fine, I've added. Let me print this one. So let's see what this will be returning it. Okay. Let's run this application. Let's see. Now let's run. So if we run, we'll be getting the data something like this. See here, we have a ID Aadhaar number as 7696345678, and the Aadhaar number is giving the details of the entire Aadhaar details. When you are using the Aadhaar number, when you are making a call, and it can able to give you the entire Aadhaar details. And here also, like the same, the IDs are same, the key values are same. Okay, but when you are using identity hash map, so it is taking the identity hash map always meant for the reference comparison. Okay, so when you are using the same example, when you use for the when you use for hash map, so it will not allow the duplicate. Okay, let's see that one as well. Let's see that one as well. So I'll do one thing. So let me change this identity hash map to hash map, and here also I'll be changed to this identity hash map to hash map. So now let's see what will happen. Let's import it. Okay, now let's run it. So let's check what will happen. See, it is not taking the duplicates. Two entries only it is showing. Okay, 7696 34578 7696 345688. Okay, so you got to know, right? So when you are using hash map internally, JVM call when the internally JVM calling the equals method. So equals method, what it will be checking? It will be checking the keys. Okay, if the keys are same over here, the keys are same, right? If the keys are same, the hash map is the equals method will be returning true. Okay, when it comes to the identity hash map, so it is meant for the content comparison. So let me run this one again. So I have changed the code. I have changed from hash map to identity hash map. Now let's see the difference. See, you can see, right? Now you can see, right? You can see a duplicate entry. Okay, fine. That's all about the weak, sorry, identity hash map. Okay, in the next session, we will be seeing the weak hash map.